The Redskins need to add quarterbacks to their roster, which Jay Gruden and Doug Williams admitted during media sessions at the NFL Scouting Combine last week in Indianapolis. That's not news. What is news, and what will continue to develop, is that the Redskins' next passer could hinge on what the Cardinals decide to do at the top of the draft. Arizona holds the first pick this April, and some reports show that new head coach Kliff Kingsbury has called selecting University of Oklahoma QB Kyler Murray a done deal. If that happens, the Cardinals will definitely want to trade their current QB, 2018 first-round pick Josh Rosen. Life comes at you fast in the NFL. Last year, the Cards traded up in the first round to take Rosen with the 10th overall pick. Considered by some to be the best passer in a loaded 2018 quarterback draft class, Rosen underwhelmed in the desert last season. He threw 14 interceptions against 11 touchdowns and completed just 55% of his passes in 13 starts. It was ugly, and the team was awful. But multiple scouts at the 2019 Combine told NBC Sports Washington that Rosen would rank very favorably in this year's QB draft class, and one described Rosen with crazy arm talent. So, if Arizona takes Murray, could Washington trade for Rosen? Absolutely. The Redskins are quite interested in Rosen, particularly because he has at least 3 years left on his rookie contract. The salaries are low and the potential is high. Compensation will likely determine if a trade happens. The talk after Rosen's disappointing rookie year is that he might only cost a third-round pick. If so, Washington should pick the phone up ASAP. The team has 2 picks in the third round, including one as compensation from losing Kirk Cousins to free agency. It would be peak irony if the Redskins get a new QB of the future earned from letting their last QB of the future walk away. Even at a second-round pick, Rosen might be worth the cost. The 15th selection, Washington's first-round choice, might be too pricey for a team with numerous holes to fill. Don't forget either, maybe the Redskins can do a player-for-player trade to gain Rosen. There's also a much wilder scenario if Arizona doesn't take Murray. The Redskins brass made little attempt to hide their fondness for the 2018 Heisman winner. Gruden said Murray would make an excellent quarterback, and Williams compared him to Russell Wilson. Some league sources believe that Washington would try a big move into the top 5 to select Murray if the Cardinals don't take him at No. 1. That would likely require a swap of first-round picks along with a Pro Bowl caliber player and likely more compensation later in the draft. Along with 4 picks inside the top 100, the Redskins have multiple picks in the 3rd and 5th rounds. Of the first 5 teams selecting in this year's draft, only the 49ers at number 2 and the Jets at number 3 definitely won't take a quarterback. And based on the dynamic between San Francisco head coach Kyle Shanahan and the Redskins organization, don't expect any mutually beneficial trades between the two clubs. That leaves the Jets, a team with lots of salary cap room and holes all over the field, as the most likely trade partner for Bruce Allen if he decides the Redskins need to move way up. It's unlikely, but it's not crazy. Acquiring Rosen seems much more plausible, but the Skins would be wise to remember he will have other suitors. For Rosen, especially if the trade compensation doesn't get into the first round, teams with veteran QBs nearing the end of their careers might get involved too. The Giants, the Chargers, and the Patriots could all make sense with the idea that Rosen could sit for a year and learn behind Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers or Tom Brady, respectively. Rosen could also be a target in Miami, Cincinnati or Jacksonville, assuming the Jags don't sign Nick Foles. The Redskins need a quarterback. Cardinals seem very likely to have a quarterback conundrum. Maybe things can be worked out to the benefit of both sides. More Redskins news: few teams overhaul their quarterback and top wide receiver position in one off-season. It rarely happens. Even fewer teams acquire maybe the best receiver in football and pair him with a new quarterback in one off-season. That's extremely rare, so know that the odds of the Redskins acquiring Antonio Brown from the Steelers and making moves to get a new QB are wildly long. Still, don't completely rule it out. Start with Brown. His antics in an ESPN interview over the weekend will not help his trade value. At some point, if the Steelers actually want to move him, they might have to realize his trade value is far lower than his on-field value. And it's probably a ridiculous if, Brown can be had without a first-round draft pick in exchange. The Redskins might be able to grab him. Bruce Allen has 3 picks between 16 and 100 that he could package for Brown. Sure, it seems obvious the Raiders could offer one of their 3 first-round picks for Brown, and that seems the likely landing spot, but obvious rarely happens in the NFL. Brown to the Redskins probably won't happen. But that doesn't mean it can't. What will happen? A new quarterback in Washington. It could be something simple, like bringing back Josh Johnson or signing a veteran free agent like Ryan Fitzpatrick or Teddy Bridgewater. Neither QB would bring much excitement, but there would be open competition for Colt McCoy. A more exciting move, and perhaps more probable, is a rookie, first-round QB. The Redskins want Kyler Murray, though. He will be hard to get. Many believe Arizona will take Murray first overall in the draft, and if that happens, there's nothing to stop the Heisman winner from landing in the desert. The Redskins also like Josh Rosen, the 10th overall pick in 2018. The previous Arizona regime drafted Rosen, but if the Cardinals want Murray, it makes Rosen expendable. Washington would likely have to part with the 15th pick for Rosen, unless the Skins look to make a player-for-player swap. Trading players will absolutely be on the table for Bruce Allen as he looks to rebuild. If Murray doesn't go no. 1. Washington could create a package to move up into the top 5 and grab him. Swapping first-round picks with a team like the Jets, who don't need a QB, and offering a player and/or an extra third-round pick might get it done. Remember, the Skins have an additional selection in the 3rd round as compensation for losing Kirk Cousins to free agency last year. It would be peak irony should the Cousins compensatory pick turn into a new QB. There's also the very real possibility of drafting a QB at 15. Drew Lock didn't jump up draft boards at the Combine like some predicted. Neither did Daniel Jones. One or both could be there when the Redskins are slated to draft. Dwayne Haskins seems less likely to last until 15, but if the Redskins are willing to engage in trade conversation for Murray and Rosen, the organization might look at options to get the former Ohio State star too. Haskins played locally at the Bullis School and was a high school classmate with Redskins owner Dan Snyder's son. There are lots of options for a new quarterback. At least one of them will be exercised. The Redskins look poised for an aggressive off-season. Don't count anything all the way out, even a Brown trade, but know that at least one new passer will wear burgundy and gold this fall. Speaking at the Combine, Jay Gruden and Doug Williams said quarterback was a priority for the organization this offseason. When teams say that, there is usually a draft move coming. More Redskins news. Indianapolis. As the whispers from dimly lit restaurants and crowded hotel lobbies turn into real conversations, one thing seems clear: the Redskins might be looking to make a big move this offseason. With the entire NFL descended upon the racing capital of the world for the annual scouting combine, the offseason talk moves into overdrive. Teams bring their whole coaching and front office staffs to Indianapolis, player agents hold court at bars and nightclubs, and plans for the coming season start getting very real. ESPN reported Friday night that Washington is one of 3 teams pursuing a possible trade with Pittsburgh to acquire star wide receiver Antonio Brown. That move would require draft picks, which the Redskins seem reluctant to offer, particularly their first-round pick, according to league sources. There also would be numerous salary cap hurdles. That doesn't mean, however, that Bruce Allen and the Redskins brass couldn't get a deal done if determined to do so. Trading players could be on the table as an alternative to draft picks, and depending on the player, could also help move some salary. As of now, Washington has just $17 million in cap space for 2019. And as far as trading players goes, that's not a scenario reserved just for Brown. It's obvious the Redskins need a quarterback, and many with the team think very highly of Oklahoma QB Kyler Murray. Jay Gruden said publicly he expects Murray to be an excellent NFL quarterback and that the size questions that lingered before the NFL scouting combine are not an issue. Murray measured at 5'10" and more than 200 pounds, similar to Russell Wilson. In fact, Doug Williams dismissed the size issue for Murray by pointing out Wilson's success. This Skins brass speaks that highly of Murray publicly. Imagine what the team is saying privately. Still, Washington might not have the capital to move up in the draft and select Murray, even if they do want him. The chances of the 2018 Heisman winner as the potential No. 1 overall draft pick seem quite real. That doesn't definitively mean the Skins won't move up for another passer. Well, word as the team doesn't want to give up a first-round pick for Brown, that could be different for a rookie quarterback. The organization might look differently at a swap of first-round picks to go get a QB, along with a player or later-round pick. Allen seemed quite disinterested in trading up when he spoke in Indy, but almost every NFL executive says they won't trade up. Then every year multiple NFL teams trade up for a quarterback. There doesn't seem to be clear consensus within the Redskins organization about other passers like Dwayne Haskins, Drew Lock or Daniel Jones like there is for Murray though. There's also what could happen if Murray does go no. 1. The Cardinals hold that pick, but last year Arizona traded up in the first round to select QB Josh Rosen. He had a bad rookie year, but one NFC scout said he still has a ton of talent and that it would be unfair to place all the blame for the Cardinals' poor 2018 season on a rookie QB. The team has since fired its coach and seems intent on rebuilding the roster, led by Kliff Kingsbury, a young pass-first coach famous for the air raid offense. If Arizona wants to draft Murray and move Rosen, plenty of talent evaluators say he would be worth the 15th pick that the Redskins hold. And while 1 year is already gone from his rookie deal, as a former first-rounder, there is the 5th-year team option available. That means 4 years of contractual control for an interested team on a QB some rated as the best in the 2018 class. One popular conversation topic at the Combine was the importance of players on team-friendly rookie contracts. Ask anybody in Indianapolis, from an Uber driver to a bartender, and they will tell you how valuable a rookie first-round deal is for a good quarterback. For the Redskins, with $20 million due to Alex Smith this season and more than $20 million due in 2020, a rookie QB contract must look very appealing. Trading back in the draft seems possible too, particularly if it becomes clear Jones or Lock could be available in the bottom 10 picks of the first round. While Allen totally denied interest in Joe Flacco, it would not be a complete surprise if Washington adds a veteran QB to compete with Colt McCoy for the starting job either. What they can afford is a different matter. The only thing that seems concrete from the Combine this offseason could be aggressive in Washington. After 3 straight years of missing the playoffs, and 2 straight 7-9 seasons, the pressure is high at Redskins Park. While the team certainly made headlines last year when they traded for Smith, his leg injury leaves the Redskins in a very precarious spot. Some folks around the NFL don't expect Smith to ever play again, and despite the team publicly saying they won't count out Smith's possible recovery, it seems near impossible he plays in 2019. And for a lot of the corner offices in Ashburn, 2019 needs to be a winning season. The last time the Redskins missed the playoffs 3 straight seasons, the team made a drastic move to acquire Robert Griffin III in the 2012 NFL Draft. If history repeats itself, be prepared for something major. More Red